Hey guys, and welcome back to another At 72 video. In today's video I'm back doing another interview and I'm here with Emmanuel Zion. Emmanuel, how are you?
I am very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Great, yes, it is a pleasure having you on the channel, mate.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
Alright, and so am I right in saying you're 26, you're a super lightweight and you're 3-0?
Yes, that is correct. Just as of last Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
just gone through.
Yes, a big congratulations on the victory as well, mate.
Thank you very much.
Alright, okay. Well, if you're on around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, the question which I always like to start off with is, why did you start boxing?
I've got a lot of really weird backstories as to why I started boxing.
Right.
One of the weird ones was, the main one that I tell everyone was I was playing football and I broke my ankle.
Right.
And I was sitting on a computer one day, just bored at home, because I think I must have been about 15 or something like that. I had a broken ankle, sitting at home playing video games and that. And I got bored, and my mate just told me to look up some boxing videos or something like that. And I thought, well, all right, it's something that I can do because I can't use my legs, so maybe I can use my hands. I just went on and I watched, like, it could have been anything, it could have been like highlights or whatever it was. It was just, yeah. And I was watching it and I thought, you know what? Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I want to give that a go, yeah. And it wasn't really anything like, I can't really specifically say exactly what it was, but I just watched it and I thought, yeah, I think that would be good for me to try and get into. So literally, as soon as I got my cast taken off from my broken ankle, I just went straight to like the first boxing gym that I could find. And I basically, well, I'd say I've been boxing ever since. I boxed for about a year-ish. I got to the gym too early, actually, and I started running and everything way before my leg had healed. So I stopped doing it for years. And then when I was about 20, 21-ish, I was like, do you know what? I just want to lose weight because I put on loads of weight. And I got up to about 15, 16 stone. And I was like, oh, I just want to lose weight. And I remember that when I was 15, I used to box. So I was like, I want to lose weight doing something fun. So I went into a boxing gym and, like, it's kind of like riding a bike. I just got into it and I loved it. So yeah, I just suck a bit.
No, that's a very good story, and it's cool that even like you had that little time as when you were a kid that did kind of just start it, but then even after all them years, you still kind of think back to the times where the short time you did do it and you enjoyed it, and then it made you come back to it. It's a nice story.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's really weird with boxing. I didn't realize this, but apparently I had no idea until my sister came and watched one of my fights. She said that apparently when I was about, must have been a baby, because I don't remember it, 2, 3 years old. Apparently my dad took me to a boxing gym as well, because he used to like to do stuff on the bags and everything. I had no idea. Like, no one had ever brought up, no one had ever said anything. So it was just kind of like, when she saw me in the boxing ring, she went, that's a bit weird, you know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe when I was a kid, I picked something up watching it, and it just clicked with me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know how these things work, but you obviously did end up carrying on, and so did you end up having an amateur career?
I did, yeah. I had, so the first boxing gym that I went to was at Elsfield. I never boxed for them in the amateurs, but I was there for a while. I never got round to it. But then the first amateur boxing gym where I actually competed out of was a gym called LCB, London Community Boxing. And I had about 10-ish fights or so with them. And I went to Double Jab for the second half of my amateur career. I think I only had about maybe 2 years in the amateurs. It was 2 or 3 max. And I had 19 bouts, it was. And and then I was going to do another like season or two. But then COVID happened and I thought, I think I must have been maybe 24, something like that when it started, 23 or 24. And I thought, if I don't know how long this is going to go on for. So I turned pro thinking I don't really want to turn pro in another 5, 6 years. I had no idea how long the pandemic was going to last for. So let me just give it a go. And so I was an amateur for a couple of years. I think 2 or 3 years.
No, that's great, and it's a similar kind of thing to why a lot of people turned pro when they did it. Kind of the COVID gave them a push because there was no amateur events going on. It gave them the push to turn pro.
I was quite lucky in a weird way because the last conversation I had with my coach after my last bout was, I think I want to turn over anyways, and he was like, well, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then COVID happened, like literally, and I caught COVID. I had COVID in my last amateur fight. Oh, wow. So I remember being in the changing room. Yeah, I was in the changing room. My missus, actually on the way there, I had my head up against the window. I was just lying there. Mrs. was like, "Are you alright?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Got to the back, coach taking on the pads, and he's just like, "Are you all right, mate? You seem off." And I was just like, "Yeah, I guess I'm fine." You know what I mean? I wasn't fine. The very next morning, I woke up coughing my lungs out, and I was bedridden for 4 weeks. Yeah. I was, yeah. So.
No, that's pretty crazy. Did you end up winning that fight in the end?
No. Oh God, no. Not even close. I was so ill. I remember I went to the corner for like the second or third round, and my coach just goes, "I don't think we're going to win this one." Nah, not this time.
No, that's fair. I mean, I was just interested. You never know, these things that you could have done. Maybe.
I wasn't that lucky. I had a really tough opponent for that one.
Yeah. Alright, okay, fair enough. And so you've now had the 3 pro fights, and so which one would you say you've performed your best in?
I think probably my second one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say my second one because basically on my first fight, after, this is a really bit of an awkward story, but I was supposed to have my professional debut last year, but I ended up having a motorcycle crash. And fell off my motorcycle. I got hit by a driver, and broke my wrist, and I was out of it for ages. And like, I normally train so much that I burn through so many calories. Going from doing training 2, 3, 4 times a day to nothing for about 6 months, I put on quite a bit of weight. So the majority of that camp was me just getting back to fight weight and learning how to, like, making sure that I'm good at all of the skills that I have. And I went out there and I really enjoyed myself because it'd been about 2 years since I'd been in the ring.
Yeah.
And so the first one, don't get me wrong, the performance was fine. But the second one, it was really tailored to what I was going to do, because I'd had the experience from the first one, and I was like, you know what, okay, I know I need fitness for 4 rounds. And I was like, all right, so let me train specifically to run for 12 minutes as fast as I can, to be as sharp as I can, as fit as I can, and my body sort of acclimatized to the weight a bit as well. So that performance was perfect, essentially, and the fight was over quick. It was over very quickly, and I knew in the changing rooms, when my coach chipped me on the pads, I was immediately like, yeah, this fight's going to go well. The third fight wasn't bad. I don't think, watching it back, I don't think the performance was that bad, but I'm critical. So in the moment, I was like, I could have done better, but there was just loads of things that went against me. So after my second fight, I was preparing from a 4-rounder to a 6-rounder. So I trained to go a little bit longer. I was taking my time and picking my shots a little bit more in practice. And then last minute, I was supposed to be fighting on the 10th, but because the Queen passed, the show was cancelled, and then I had to box on the Saturday just gone. Now with that, I had a change of opponent. Instead of boxing at 10 stone, I was boxing at just over 11. Right. So I put on a stone in a week, and don't get me wrong, the performance was all right, but because I wasn't training specifically for that opponent at that weight, and the opponent that I had before him was a southpaw, so I've been training for a southpaw. Because of all of that, and it was completely different, wasn't, in my opinion, the best that it could have been, because my training wasn't tailored for that kind of fight, But it was all right. I had fun. I didn't look it, like, my face didn't look very happy, but I did have fun.
No, that is a very kind of, yet again, kind of inspirational thing, because going back to the event that happened on your motorbike, obviously it was an unfortunate event, but like some fighters, especially at the start of their career, that could have like really like affected them, and they just not really wanted to go back to what they were doing. But the fact that you managed to make that make the kind of get a win, and then really think after winning the first fight to then push on and then get back stronger, and then that second fight to be as good as it was. Of course, the third fight, I mean, you've spoke about what happened. That's fair enough. That's what happened. But no, it's just interesting how your mindset is.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to make sure that my thing doesn't die. Are we good? Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like with boxing, it's such a hard sport that if you're going to do it, you might as well give it everything, because I'll be honest with you, there's loads of other sports that I probably could have done that I would have been good at that don't have as much risk. So, like, boxing isn't, like, you hear this, it's an old cliche, but you don't play boxing, like, you play football and everything. And one of my old coaches said something to me that really stuck with me, and it was, if you think about the punishment for losing a tennis match, say the ball goes flying past you, and like you've missed a swing or something like that, and same goes with football, you get beaten 5-0. The punishment for having a bad day in the ring is getting seriously injured. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because of that, you kind of have to think, if you are going to do it, you might as well put everything into it. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of why, for me, I think it would be so much easier for me to just do something else if I was going to be half-assed about it. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I get you. And so you've only had the three fights in the professional game so far, and so would you say the best of your ability is still to come?
I think I'll be honest. I think I'm an absolute bag of tricks, and I
Mhm.
pride myself in this. Where whenever I get in the ring, I'm always holding something back. I'm
Mhm.
always thinking, what am I? And I'm quite specific. So when I get in with different people, I think, what skill set am I going to use against this opponent?
Mhm.
And with every single fight, I'm becoming a little bit more like accustomed and comfortable in the ring. For every single fight, I just feel like it's always felt a bit natural, but I'm starting to be able to do things that I do in training that I haven't actually displayed before, and I've got so many skills that I haven't had the opportunity to use. And I think the best is definitely still to come because of the type of fighter that I am as well. So my first three fights have been 4 rounders. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really a 4 round fighter. Like in the
Right.
amateurs, one of the reasons why I took more to the pros is because of the longer rounds. When I first started in the amateurs and I was doing 3 2s, the fight would be over and I feel like I just started getting warmed up, you know,
Yeah.
whereas I really want the longer rounds and I've sort of been pushing for it. And hopefully I can get them soon. When we start pushing on to 6, 8, 10 rounders, I think that's when you'll really see the best of me because I take a few rounds to sort of get into it. I like to figure people out and like I'm able to display more of my arsenal when I have more time, you know.
Yeah, I get you. That's a smart kind of way of fighting, and so you've just come off the recent win on the a couple of days ago, and so do you have a possible date of when you might be back in the ring?
We're having a think. Initially, we're thinking about doing November the 5th.
Hmm.
Not too sure if we're going to do that. Um, so I'm trying to look. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But because I'm expecting to have a baby at the end of the year.
Oh,
So I'm thinking maybe trying. I'm trying to. I'll be honest with you. I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm trying to sneak one in. You know what I mean? Before the kid gets here, I'm
yeah.
like, let me just have a quick little one, and then I'm expecting a kid in end of November-ish time.
Congratulations.
Trying, thank you very much. And so I'm just trying to sneak one in at the end of October or beginning of November if I can. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'll do that and then have a little Christmas off and then back again at the beginning of next year.
All right, great. And so you've you've kind of just gotten into your career at the moment, like at the very start. And so, how far do you believe you can go?
I think the sky's the limit. I
Hmm.
think there isn't really uh, anything that I don't think I can do. I don't think that there's like a I'm yet to reach a limit, and that's like in terms of skill or in terms of fitness. There's just always more, and I
Hmm.
genuinely think that for me, um, anything that I put my mind to, I can do. I think in terms of ability, like it's sort of become quite well known that my biggest attribute is intelligence. I
Hmm.
think in the ring anyway, is ring IQ.
Hmm.
And I feel like everybody has certain things that they're going to be very good at. Some people are going to be exceptional power punches. Some people are just incredibly fast. And my greatest attribute is my ability to adapt in the ring and to figure things out. So I feel like when you have that, even if you get if at some point I'm going to encounter somebody who's stronger than me, or who's faster than me, or who's fitter, but I will always find a way to win.
Hmm.
And with that, I don't think that there's ever going to be a ceiling for what I'm capable of doing.
No, that's great. That's definitely one of the well, if not the most important attribute to have. And saying that you believe that is your best attribute, especially just at the start of your career, is a very interesting thing to say. As like it means that it can mean for the fans watching in that there's something to look forward to when they can watch your fights.
Every single one. I always say there's going to be a slight improvement, and it might be. I think you could watch two of my fights, and they'll be completely different. And it really just depends on what I'm feeling, what I've planned, what I've got in mind, and I tend to do everything with purpose.
Hmm.
So I think when you come to see when people come and see my fights, they'll see a lot of variance in them as well, and unexpected things. So I might come out a bit more with a peekaboo style. I can do so much because I spend so much time actually studying boxing. that no two fights are the same.
Definitely. And so I always kind of like to ask this question. I know it's probably not going to apply to you now, but do you think maybe a bit further down the line, or if you'd like to fight him at the moment, I don't know, if you could possibly give me a dream opponent of yours?
I can't give you one in terms of somebody who's active now. There's a few people that are in or around my weight class that I always think, oh yeah, that would be a good fight. Just because of like stylistic matchups. There's like I enjoy fighting and I really enjoy the challenge. So like sometimes there's some people in my weight that I think, but I don't actually think that I have like somebody active at the moment that I've got in mind. If I had to give you a dream matchup, I would love to fight someone like Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, those types of styles, because like for me, I feel like I'd constantly, even Canelo, although he's a bit heavier, it's the idea of the chess match. You know what I mean? Where there's, of course, there's the danger aspect, there's the power and everything, but there's also the little intricate things, the feints. Those are the types of things that I'd like to encounter in my career. So people like Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, Miguel Cotto, Arturo Gatti, actually, and those types of fighters are the types of people I'd really love to get into it with, because it's like a really high level. Although it's quite a lot of the fights could actually be quite brutal, they're really high level chess matches, you know.
Yeah, I understand you, and I mean, you never know. You could still fight Floyd Mayweather. He's still kicking about.
Again, yeah, that man's never going to retire. Yeah,
No.
not.
All right, okay. Well, I'll leave it with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform. Would you like to shout anything out?
Yeah, just follow me up on Instagram, I guess, for the time being. At Zion. I've actually got a YouTube channel as well, which I barely use. Right,
Right.
I've literally posted like a video on there, and it's just one of my fights. So I think if you just look up Emmanuel Easy Zion on YouTube, I'm on there as well. So at Zion on Instagram, at Emmanuel Easy Zion on YouTube, and I think I'm on Twitter as well as Easy Zion. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, great. Okay, well, thank you very much for doing this interview, mate.
Very, very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Great. And maybe in a few years when you're fighting for some belts, we can come back and do a return interview.
Yeah, it'll be good. Hopefully next year I'll get my shot at my first one, and yeah, we'll do it again. That sounds good.
Great. Okay. Well, if you're on around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and thanks for watching.